It's no secret to anyone that The Amazing World of Gumball is one of the wildest and most creative cartoons ever made by Cartoon Network. But did you really catch all the little secrets and hidden jokes spread throughout the 240 episodes that have already aired? Of course, we've got to start by talking about the latest and freshest season of the series. It's absolutely packed with amazing references and incredible details. For example, in the grossest episode of Season 7, The Butt, when Principal Brown commits the terrible act of twerking, and on top of that, grotesquely shows his own backside, we see Gumball's classmates recreating that famous meme of the group of guys reacting in total shock. Even though it came a few years late, we all instantly recognize the reference. So get ready to have your mind blown with this brand new video. Before anything else, let's talk about a detail that every pop culture fan will love. In the episode The Flower, Gumball gets taken over by the jealousy creature, and the one who ends up helping cast out that entity is none other than Carrie, the ghost we all love so much. What a lot of people don't realize is that when she performs that exorcism ritual, her look is strikingly similar to Slimer, that green slimy ghost from the classic Ghostbusters. Come on, that's clearly a direct nod to one of the most beloved films in nerd culture, isn't it? And in that very same episode, the jokes went even further. While the jealousy entity spins around Carrie's house, if you pause at just the right moment, you can spot an object on the shelf with the unmistakable shape of Mickey Mouse, Disney's ultimate symbol. Were the animators dropping a hint that their goal was to compete head-on with the entertainment giant Disney, the direct rival of Cartoon Network, or was it just a playful jab at the competition?
Hey, everybody!
And don't think Mickey showed up only once, because he appears again and again throughout the series. One of the funniest cameos is right on the boys' bathroom door at Elmore Junior High. The animators clearly love hiding the world's most famous mouse's symbol as an Easter egg, sometimes as a tribute, other times as pure satire. Now moving on to the characters, we can't forget that Darwin is basically the show's dating champion. But the one that truly stood out as special was Carrie. Here's the detail almost no one knows. Her full name is Carrie Krueger. That's actually a mashup of two of the greatest horror references ever. Carrie, the Stephen King story that became one of the most iconic suspense films in pop culture, and Freddy Krueger, the villain who terrorizes dreams in the classic A Nightmare on Elm Street. So even Darwin's romance has a spooky twist, since Carrie can actually be really scary in some scenes. And since we're talking about Darwin, let's not forget that his name wasn't chosen randomly either. The little orange fish who became Gumball and Aeneas' adopted brother got his name from none other than scientist Charles Darwin, the man behind the famous theory of evolution. And look how perfectly it fits. Darwin started out as just a regular fish, but he evolved, grew legs, and ran back to the Watterson family simply because he wanted to stay with them. It's literally the theory of evolution being used in a fun and emotional way inside the storyline. Jumping back in time a little, another brilliant detail happens in the episode that shows a glimpse of the Wattersons' past. That's where we see little Anais, still a baby, cute and evil at the same time, plotting against her brothers to win her parents' full attention. In one scene, Gumball believes Anais is inside a box about to be thrown into the incinerator. When he tries to save her, the sequence is practically a copy of the scene from Toy Story 3 when Lotso abandons Woody, Buzz, and their friends to their fate. It's impossible not to get chills at the resemblance. You can clearly see the animators of Gumball are big Pixar fans, just like the rest of us. Now let's talk about something most people miss. Gumball's own look. The character we first met back in Season 1 isn't exactly the same as the one we saw in later seasons. If you look closely, in the first two seasons his eyes were more oval-shaped, but starting from Season 3 all the way to the end of Season 6, his eyes became completely round. This simple change gave the character a whole new vibe, making him look way more expressive and charismatic. If you're a true fan of the Watterson family and love cartoons and shows, hit that subscribe button right now. Now, going back to the episode The Flower, there's another super fun detail. Who remembers the scene where Leslie shows up with a vacuum cleaner to suck up the creature? That moment is a huge nod to Ghostbusters, where the heroes used those energy beams that looked a lot like vacuums. Yet another proof that the creators of Gumball love to play around with classic movies. And the joke doesn't stop there. When Leslie turns on the vacuum, you can spot two flashy stickers. The first one says ABCD with a lightning bolt in the middle. That's nothing more than a super creative parody of the rock band AC/DC's logo, just with swapped letters. The animators nailed this detail, something only true music fans caught right away. Right below that sticker, there's another one that's even more curious. A face painted black and white, and next to it the word Baisu. That's clearly a reference to the legendary band KISS, famous for their wild makeup. And the pun is just brilliant. Kiss in English, while Bisou is kiss in French, the native language of Gumball's creator Ben Bocquelet. So besides the music reference, there's also a touch of cultural humor, and that wasn't the only time Gumball paid tribute to Kiss. In Season 6, during the Halloween episode, we see Anton, the slice of toast, and Idaho, the living potato, wearing makeup that looks almost identical to the band's. It came out nearly spot on, making it crystal clear that the animators are big fans of classic rock and love sneaking that into the show. But Gumball isn't just about rock. The animators also dropped plenty of hints that they're big fans of Japanese anime. One of the most iconic is in the episode The Pest, when Gumball himself transforms into a version with blue eyes and spiky blonde hair. That's an obvious reference to Dragon Ball Z, more specifically to Goku turning into a Super Saiyan. For anyone who grew up watching anime, that scene is simply priceless.
Let's go! Come on, man. We both know this is just posturing.
Yeah, but I thought you might bite if I went big. Let's just try to find an actual solution.
Still in the Halloween vibe, there's another anime reference. Banana Joe shows up dressed as Pikachu, the most famous Pokemon mascot. The red cheeks, lightning bolt tail, and black-tipped ears are all there. And let's be honest, it fits perfectly, since both Pikachu and Banana Joe are totally yellow. Speaking of Banana Joe, there's a scene in the episode The Banana that deserves some attention. He, Darwin, and Gumball are in the counselor Mr. Small's office, and on the wall you can see two posters. On one side, there's a sign encouraging peace and reconciliation. On the other, a completely contradictory sign that reads Bully-Free Zone. This kind of irony is one of the show's trademarks, joking even about serious situations, making everything both funny and critical at the same time. To kick things off, let's talk about something most people overlook. In the episode where Gumball and Darwin end up in Mr. Small's office, behind his chair there's a poster showing some pretty unusual constellations. For example, the classic Little Dipper is presented as the great big angry bear in the sky. The drawing representing the constellation looks so bizarre that it feels like a rushed caricature. It's the kind of detail you'd only catch if you pause the episode and really pay attention. And right below that weird constellation, there's another one that's even more curious. The Taurus version, which in Gumball's universe is called Zippo the Bull. It's a joke showing how even in Elmore there are invented zodiac signs and horoscopes. Do you think the characters check their star chart before leaving the house too? But the show isn't only about stars, it also has some giant references, literally. Even though Tina and her family seem like the only massive dinosaurs in Elmore, that's not exactly true. When Gumball goes through a hypnosis session done by Darwin, there's a scene where he's at the eye doctor. And guess what? On the vision test chart, the very first symbol is none other than a Tyrannosaurus Rex, identical to Tina. So basically in Elmore, learning to recognize dinosaurs is a survival skill, because if you trip over one, well, you know how that ends. Now let's take a nostalgic trip. In the episode The Ghouls, Tobias shows up wearing an outfit that really resembles a 90s superhero. We're talking about Captain Planet, the hero who appeared when 5 kids combined their magic rings that represented the elements of nature. Besides the green hair, Tobias even sports the planet symbol on his chest, just like in the old cartoon. It was an unexpected and super fun tribute, one that anyone who grew up in that era instantly recognized. And to wrap up the references, we've got the most charismatic and clumsy member of the family, Richard. In the Halloween episode, he shows up wearing nothing less than a Kratos costume, the main character from the God of War video game series. Of course, the resemblance is only in spirit because Richard is pretty much the complete opposite of the muscular, furious warrior from the games. But that's exactly what makes it hilarious, because it's impossible not to laugh at Richard's buff, yet totally clumsy version of Kratos.
No, stay strong.
So did you like it? Those were the 20 secrets, references, and awesome Easter eggs we picked out today from the amazing world of Gumball. Now check out one of these 2 videos that just popped up on the screen. I'm absolutely sure whichever one you click is going to surprise you. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.